How can I physically destroy data from a failed HDD? I have a broken HDD that contains sensitive data. Since no software can access the disk, I can't wipe it using any of the tools generally suggested. Breaking the disk physically into very small pieces would probably suffice, but that would require some good tools to do. Just waving a magnet around the disk might still leave the data recoverable by data recovery experts, or am I wrong? What's an effective way to clear the sensitive data?
Save time, I just use a 5-pound hammer. Note, wear safety goggles. Or buy one of these.
You're correct, physical destruction is the only good way to do this. You'd need a magnet so strong that it's not feasible to get one for most people unless you're on staff at the Large Hadron Collider. Professional disposal operations generally do this with an industrial metal shredder. For you, bending the platters with a hammer, sandpapering them, and then running a drill through them in multiple points is sufficient to stop anything but advanced forensic data recovery. If you're really concerned about even that, or you just want style points, you might try thermite. It is usually sufficient to melt the platters entirely.
On newer drives, even the high-power magnets I used to use don't work anymore to erase the disk. If you have a spike or similar object, hard metal that is pointed, think of a nail that is much bigger, and drive it through the center of the chassis with a hammer. That will bend the platers and damage the heads, making it extremely difficult to recover. A land stake from the hardware store should work for this. Dispose of the board separate from the drive. This way, any encoding information about the drive recorded on the controller will not be available, making recovery exponentially more difficult. After all that, you can safely send the remains to a computer recycler for shredding.
Apparently the method a certain British university uses is drilling a hole through it. Failing which, thermite.
In addition to all the advice above mentioning physical demolition, I would like to add putting the platters in an oven at the highest possible temperature for ca 20 minutes. IIRC, at those temperatures, if sustained, the magnetic information is lost. If you think that is insufficient, heat up the platters over an open flame until they more or less glow. Gas stoves are great for this. At that point any information on them is essentially wiped. The flame of a candle could be sufficient, but would require some patience as you anneal the surface 1 square centimeter at a time. Melting them with termite certainly will destroy the information, but is messy and dangerous and essentially not something you can do at home, in contrast to use a kitchen oven or gas stove. Edit, disclaimer, even if using an oven or gas stove is relatively safe from a fire hazard perspective, heating these platters might emit unpleasant and potentially toxic fumes. Make sure you have some good ventilation. Also, what I had in mind when writing the above is to just heat the platters themselves, not the entire hard drive with controller card and all. Disclaimer added as per Shinrai's recommendation.